This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Port Royal in shock after car used to kill man during fight. Residents of Port Royal are concerned that their once a peaceful and a quiet community is changing for the worse after a 41-year-old fisherman, Narado Isaacs, was mowed down in the town square during a fight with another man early Tuesday morning. His sister was among those who witnessed his killing, and she told the news that the image of it keeps replaying in her mind. "I don't know when it's going to sink in," she said, as she absent-mindedly played around with her food, the first meal she was having hours after the tragic incident. "I said, look how him killed my brother. Me glimpse somebody I do CPR, but me not even know who was trying to help. Him kill my brother, and it's like you see it, but you just freeze," she said, adding that all she could do was scream. The sister said Isaacs got into an argument with a man a little after 12 a.m. It escalated and another man got involved and slapped him 3 times. Isaacs retaliated and the man got into his vehicle and ran him over. "The one box him back, him drop over the bicycle, everybody out there and a laugh. Him drive the car and him lick him, like him give him a notice. And then him reverse and ram, and Isaac fly up and then drop, and him drive over him, and him stuck under the car," his sister shared. She described the cause of the first argument as a foolishness. He was taken to the hospital by police officers who were on the scene. Superintendent in charge of the St. Andrew Eastern Police Division, Tommy Lee Chambers, said that the police are still trying to locate the suspect who drove away after the act. He has been identified as Kemar Kiki Clark of Fletcher's Land in Kingston. Superintendent Chambers told the news that Clark was previously charged for illegal possession of a firearm and was reporting to the Port Royal Police Station. His child's mother reportedly lives in the community and he visits frequently. It is sad to know that at this time Port Royal would be seeing a 200% increase in murder, with 2 murders since year. Port Royal is a community where you would not be seeing any crime. Persons can go around and leave their doors open, Chambers said. The superintendent's sentiments are echoed by David Palmer, a fisherman from the town who blames the migration of people from other areas to the community for the increase in conflicts. "Our culture different, you know. We're not in the war. But a lot of young boys over here, we don't know the reason why they are here. Sometimes it's problems where them living, and them come lurks out. Enough time them come here and threaten off when them lose them cool," he said. "Sometimes the girls them take on to some guys and bring them in the place, and it is not what you expect. Because some of them the girl love the bad boy, and then bring them in the place, and then make the place different," Palmer, who has lived in Port Royal for 62 years, added. Another resident who has lived in the town for more than 20 years agreed with Palmer. "The community is changing big time, but the devil they're everywhere. You have to do what you have to keep yourself safe," he said. "You have to do what you have to keep yourself safe," he said. Butch, a resident who worked with Isaacs, is still shocked over his death. "It is not right for the community. 2 people get into an argument and it get out of hand," he said. But he dismissed it as an isolated incident and contended that Port Royal is still one of the safest places in Jamaica. Chambers said that the police will be working to make sure it stays that way. "We will do everything in our power to ensure that this community remains safe through dialogue with community members, intervention with citizens and regular patrols," she said. Mandeville bar armed robbery captured on CCTV. A manhunt has been launched for 2 gunmen who posed as customers before robbing a bar of an undetermined sum of cash at Nashville in Mandeville on Tuesday evening. Preliminary reports are that the gunmen entered the bar shortly after 7 p.m. and held up the establishment. The robbery, which was captured on closed-circuit television, shows the men holding a bartender and another man who appeared to be a customer at a gunpoint while demanding that cash be loaded into a bag. The men then made their escape. Statistics from the police show that up to October 1, Manchester recorded 86 robberies since the start of the year when compared to 67 for the corresponding period last year. Deportee accused of butchering sister during quarrel. When Norman Pedro Campbell was deported from Canada more than a decade ago, his sister Michelle Anne Marie Roach took him in. When he ran afoul of the local law earlier this year, she posted bail on his behalf. On Monday night, Campbell allegedly stabbed his sister to death, enraged by her threat to call the police after they quarreled. On Tuesday, a messy trail of blood splatters bathed sections of the 4 steps leading into Roach's house, where she had been slaughtered. The modest 3-bedroom structure doubles as the Healing Stream Spiritual Temple, a place of worship the 56-year-old, whom neighbors referred to as the Archbishop Reverend, operated out of her home. Adjoined to the building are Campbell's quarters, painted in red, while Roach's section, which is painted in white, is on the main structure. According to the police, sometime after 11:30 p.m. Monday, Roach was at home when she realized that there was no electricity in her section of the house. She went outside and spoke to Campbell. It is alleged that during an altercation between them, Roach was stabbed several times. She was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Campbell has been taken into custody. The brutal slaying comes on the heels of Rasheen Barnett's June 21 murder of his cousin Kimisha Wright and her 4 children in Cocopies, Clarendon. Wright had taken in her cousin at her mother's urging after he moved from Trelawney to get a fresh start. Barnett hacked the family to death, claiming that he was being disrespected by Wright. He pleaded guilty and is now to be sentenced on October 20. That bloodbath left the entire country shocked. On Tuesday, sensibilities were again offended when news broke of Roach's murder. Her youngest son, Emil Trey Roach, said his mother and uncle had never fought before. Them never have a feud before, so me not understand this. My mother just say a simple thing to him about the light, unless she go call the police. And from she said that, him just attack her in the dark. Him deal with her wicked. When me see my mother and how she look, me feel it. Me not sleep last night. Whole night me I wonder if it real. The 23-year-old told the news on Tuesday. It's like from them deport him it get to him head, said one neighbor who opted not to provide a name. Sometimes me see him all a thump down the wall them and just a pace up and down. It's just a sad day. Me not lie, him shouldn't do a thing like that to him sister, added a man who gave his name as a fire. Now Roach's family has been left to pick up the pieces. My mother is my heart, as she protect me. If she said to me, Trey, don't go road today because things are going to happen to you, me just listen and stay home because of the same way it go. Over the years, as she guide me, said Emil. Sharing that his father died months before he was born, Emil said, right now me no know how me go manage. 12 business operators in St. James have been charged for breaching the plastic ban. The operators will appear in the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday. The National Environment and Planning Agency says the businesses were observed in possession of commercial quantities of drinking straws attached to juice or drink boxes and the single-use plastic bags on varying days last month. The items are made wholly or in part of polyethylene or polypropylene plastic with dimensions 24 by 24 inches with a thickness less than 2.5 millimeters. Director of Legal Services and Enforcement at NEPA, Mordron Wallock, said the agency remains resolute in its efforts to increase compliance with the ban on single-use plastics and other environmental and planning laws. Suspected suicide involving 12-year-old boy in Westmoreland. The police in Westmoreland are probing the suspected suicide of 12-year-old Lauren Jurig, who was found hanging from a tree in his yard in the community of Broughton District. Lauren's mother, Candine Palmer, yesterday told the news that her son was unruly towards one of his cousins, so on Monday afternoon she scolded him and ordered him to go to his house and apologize. Hours later, Lauren could not be found. Palmer said a check with her cousin revealed that he did not turn up at the house. The worried mother said that when her son did not return home on Monday night, she went to the Little London police station and filed a missing person report. She was sent into shock earlier Tuesday morning, minutes after she walked from her house to fetch a bucket of water and discovered Lauren's body hanging from the branch of an apple tree in the back of their yard. She raised an alarm and the police were summoned. The scene was processed by investigators and the boy's body was removed to the morgue. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has promised that he will in short order bring the Jamaica Customs Bill to Parliament for debate. This commitment followed adoption of the Joint Select Committee's report on the bill at the Tuesday sitting of the House of Representatives. Dr. Clark said the committee met 14 times to fully examine the 852-page bill and recommended several amendments. Among other things, it recommended that the definition of goods be amended to include any form of currency. The finance minister said consequential amendments to other statutes will be proposed when the bill is examined clause by clause. The bill seeks to provide a modern framework to enhance ease of doing business. It will appeal and replace the existing Customs Act. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.